Pace. What's the science, y'all? What's the science? What's the science? You know, look, man. We're gonna do it like this, man. So check this out. Check this out right quick. So this is my review on Buckshot Shorty talking about the 5% Nation. Um, this is an old video. This is an old video, but I am continuing um reviewing videos of people talk about the 5% and they don't really know what the hell they're talking about. Or, right? There's some videos of people knowing what they're talking about, and I'm going to review it. And um, but yeah, without further ado, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. And so, I'm going to be sharing the video. Make sure it's like this. Okay. No, let's do it like that. No, like that. All right. So we're going to do it like this. Okay. So, without further ado,
I want to get into the supreme mathematics, right? um, can you give a brief history of Father Clarence 13X and how he was able?
Father Clarence 13X. Man, time and time again, y'all disrespecting this man by not calling him by the name that he is known for. When he was Clarence 13X, the world didn't know who he was. He was a Muslim under the leadership of Malcolm X in Temple Number 7 and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was the leader of the Nation of Islam at that time. So people know of his works when he is Allah, not Clarence 13X.
Would have influenced so many black men with the teachings of the 5% Nation?
First of all, my father, Lord Shabar God Allah, was what you call 5%. And everywhere I was able to live, everywhere we lived, rather, my father would paint the whole wall with the flag, universal flag. I didn't even really know what it was back then. I just used to see this star, this 7, and this pretty stars and diamonds everywhere. And all I knew of it was that.
Uh-huh.
As years progressed, I would learn a little bit by little bit by little bit. And then I got my full lessons as life given to me from the universe itself. And
that sounds spooky as hell. I got my lessons from the universe as life. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
I was able to be blessed with the lessons of the 5% Nation in a way where others have not gotten a chance to be blessed, right? Like respect due to the I was about to say, I hope respect due to the ABGB. It's
Who the hell is ABGB? Look, maybe it's someone I never met before. So let's continue.
One of the first non-born is always kind
Who is ABGB? You mean ABG number 7? Yeah, 7 is God, right? But his name is firstborn ABG number 7. He's the 7th of the firstborn. So it's not ABGB, it's ABG number 7. Let's continue.
kind of hard to get into this because it's a big story. Clarence Joar for 13's
Wars. It's not his name. It's not his name. That's not his name.
Smith, all right, or Jaws. People pronounce it. He would have to pronounce.
That's not his name. That's one of the women he married. Their name, his name, Clarence Smith. Then Clarence 13X. Then Allah.
The name himself, because it's just like the Legier and Ledger, right? But the point is, the Father called us Allahs with an S, right? And this is according to the Father who's still around right now, Father Allah, who teaches the lessons
Father Allah that's here right now. Okay.
right now, who's holding down the nation right now, who's also with one of the last. When ABGB go all night.
ABG number 7. Look, I'm a stickler about names. I'm a stickler about names because if someone says Wise, my name is Wise Prince Allah. So if someone says Prince Wise Allah, right? Or Allah Prince Wise, you're not talking about me. You're talking about someone else.
Not born is gone. Once the God ABGB is gone, he's still alive today, teaching the lessons today. But once that God is gone, all the true lessons of the Father or words from the Father is gone. So
no, it's not, because there's people other than the first 9 born that met Allah, and he taught them as well. You see, and so he passed on stuff to them as well. That's like saying that the first 9 born and the first fruit and all those people that met Allah was not able to pass down the lessons that was taught to them to someone else. And sure, it becomes secondhand information, right? But I wasn't there to meet Allah, the founder of this nation. You see, the Allah I met was the Allah that I met in Seattle, Washington. So, if we're just going based on what Allah said, then if we're just going based off the lessons or just the information that was passed down from people that met Allah, and most of us haven't met him.
we got to take heed to those lessons right now, because these are very important lessons. See, most people only understand the supreme mathematics. People understand the supreme alphabets. But people got to understand the supreme mathematics, the supreme alphabets are the lessons. Where did the lessons come from? Where did the God get the lessons from? Where did he get the lessons from? The Father.
The supreme mathematics and alphabets are the best part. That is what is the 5% teachings. The 5% teachings is not 120 lessons. That's not our teaching. Supreme mathematics and alphabet that was given to us by our Father, Allah, right? That is our lessons. That is our teachings. 120 is not our teachings. That is a cultural curriculum that we go by, right? It's in our culture to have 120 on cap, but it is not our teachings. That is Elijah Muhammad's teachings.
He got it from the mosque, right? So the lessons come from the mosque. What did the Father also say? He said, after you've done your what? Your 360 degrees and become born, which is the reason why 9 represents born. When you become born, you must do what? Return back to the mosque.
Hell, no, he didn't say that. Why the hell would God go to the mosque? See, Elijah Muhammad, all praise is due to him. That's our righteous brother. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was Allah's messenger. He was the message to the black man, right? In the wilderness of North America. It's one of his books. Elijah Muhammad is Allah's messenger. I don't have a messenger because I got the message. I don't need to go back to the mosque for what? I left religion alone. I don't need that. That's Allah's messenger. That's not my messenger. I got the message. I got the message straight. I didn't need to go all around through religion and figure it out myself. No, I got it straight.
All right? You must return back to the Mars. You
That's not what Allah taught.
understand? This is what the Father was trying to teach, and when he
No, he didn't.
was teaching, actually. You understand? And he was teaching us that we are Allah's, not Allah. You understand? He is Allah.
What? Okay, so Allah's 5%. That's right and exact. That's right and exact. But to say that we are not Allah is to say that we should worship him and that the Son is not the Father. You see, he's all mixed up. So when he says we, when he's saying we, he's not speaking for us. He's not a 5%er. He don't know what he's talking about.
We are Allah's with an S. Do you understand? Because this is the lessons that was given from the Father. You understand? And those who understand. Now, let's get down to like the reason all these rappers that like to give this stuff praise, and it's just another fly thing for them. It's another fly way out for them, right? It's another ego box. In life, we all look for ego boxes, and they have found theirs.
Before you move on, explain to the viewers what you mean by ego box.
Everybody wants to be something. Everybody has a feeling to have a need, wants to be needed, wants to count, everybody wants to have a purpose or exist. All these things. So if they're not good at talent, if they're not good at this, if they're not good at that, they're not good at this, they're gonna grab something. And you can tell a lot of the ego boxes there because they'll grab and fight for something that's not even in the box.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Right? Like they'll go and say, tell me break down the word God. And I mean, you asked about what did other 5%ers tell you about what does God mean? How do you did you ever hear them say, like we say, what does
I never heard a good explanation, tell you the truth.
what kind of, I mean, have you heard like Gomar Oz Duval? And you was like, what is Gomar? Right? You heard that? Or you heard God Cypher Devon? Did you?
Okay. Well, one, you're supposed to look it up for yourself, not go based off someone else's understanding of God. You're supposed to look it up yourself.
You ever hear that one? You heard that one? I'm gonna ask you again. What does God mean? Right? Now tell me God.
God means supreme being. Supreme means highest form. Being means to exist. So God is the highest form of existence.
Cypher Divine. Why are you gonna say God Cypher Divine? Because the G's is 7 in the mathematics, and the G represent God, but that's not born in the mathematics of what God. He just
God Cypher Divine is in the alphabets, not the mathematics. So when you're spelling out God, G is God, 0 or O is cipher, right? And D is divine. So that's actually the supreme alphabet, not the supreme mathematics.
asked you, what is God? What is God? Well, y'all say God. When the Father said God, what did he mean? Did
He meant the black man.
he mean Gomar Zubar? No. Did he mean God Cypher? First of all, you asking the question with a question inside of the question. You started it off. I said,
You ask a question, inside of a question, and the question. Okay.
I said, what is God? You said God Cypher Divine. Stop. How you gonna say God again? I just asked you what was God, and you gonna.
What you meant to say is that you put the word in the answer, not the ask a question in the question. Yeah, no. You use the word in the answer. And yeah, that's technically you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to define the word. And so, as I said, God means supreme being. And so, you see, I didn't use God in that definition.
Give me the question within the answer. God stands for good orderly direction. This is direct from the Father himself.
How do you know that? You never met Allah.
Do you understand? This is direct from the Father. Good orderly direction. That's what the God was there for. He wasn't there to try to talk fly. He wasn't there to try to make a new religion, a new da 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 da. He was there to give enlightenment to who?
I agree. He did not teach a new religion. We're not religious. So, and he said, keep it simple, son. Or at least it is said that he said that because I wasn't there either.
Children. Didn't you hear that? Didn't you hear that the Father was enlightening the young? Didn't you hear that? How you going to tell the young all these crazy things that they're not even prepared for? That's how you know that it was wrong. You know the God was there teaching the young youth simple stuff that was really easy to understand. Good orderly direction as a God body, me showing and proving.
You see, we're not God body. God is in the mind, not the body. The body has a birth record. And so, how would you be God if you have a birth record?
And manifested as buckshot, how to have good orderly direction in life is what makes you God. It's what makes you complete. It's what makes you responsible. It's what makes you have that title of God because you have now you've now understood your role in life's responsibility. It's no longer about trying to be fly.
I can agree with that. I mean, to a certain extent, I would go a little deeper in it, but I can say that he right there, that portion, he's going in the right direction. The other stuff, yeah, it was kind of tough, but yeah, he's going in the right direction.
It's not about trying to spread the knowledge and the words and the supreme mathematics of the law versus knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It ain't about none of that. Give somebody a good orderly direction and you can skip all those fly words. This is what people have to understand. The necessity of the wording or the breakdowns for some is because they may need that sub breakdown. They may need.
So when you say, what does God mean? Right? And you say good orderly direction, then you need to also break down good, orderly, and direction. If you're speaking to a baby, a young person, they can understand what good is. But break down orderly and in what direction.
Need to know that knowledge is first, and then the wisdom gives you what? Wisdom is not just the wise words, but wisdom is the action. Wisdom is the second step. Knowledge is the first step. First, you gotta. Then after you get knowledge, even if you open your mouth, that's the second step. So wisdom is the second step, and the third is understanding, right?
That's right, exactly.
Right? Because if you make a step and you step in the right direction, that means you understood where you were stepping, right? Or two step. So you have a great understanding, right? And then it'll born your culture, right? If you have a good understanding, look where I'm at right now. Look at my clothes. Look how I dress. Look how I talk. The way I understand things gives birth to my culture. So when you come around Buckshot, you understand his culture. Don't bring that other stuff around me because that ain't my culture. You understand? So these are the things that the gods that try.
Well, as far as your culture, you probably need to come amongst the gods again and kind of like clear up some things because I'm with you right here. I'm with you right here. That earlier stuff, I'm not with you with.
To break down, need to break down the mathematics and break it down in those ways, not in the knowledge culture cipher degree or the 1 to 40. One of the lessons is why is the poorest man have the why does the devil have the poorest? Why does the devil have the richest part of the planet Earth? Like we don't need to we don't.
What the hell did he just say? Hold on. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. What?
Come around Buckshot, you understand his culture. Don't bring that other stuff around me because that ain't my culture.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So these are the things that the gods that try to break down, need to break down the mathematics, should break it down in those ways, not in the knowledge, culture, cipher degree, or the 1 to 4.
Knowledge, culture, cipher degree in the 1 to 40. Okay, so the 1 to 40, 1 to 40. Or is he saying the 1 to, he's saying the culture cipher degree in the 1 to 40?
40. One of the lessons is why is the poorest man have the, why does the devil have the poorest, why does the devil have the richest part of the planet Earth?
Okay, he's probably talking about the 1 to 14. And he's probably talking about why is the devil settled on the best part of the planet Earth. Yeah, so that's actually the 1 to 14, not the 1 to 40. You know, but let's continue.
Like we don't need to deal with those things in the lessons. Show them how the devil has the greatest parts of the planet Earth because he's a devil.
That's not what the degree says.
He's a devil because he only cares about having the greatest part of the planet Earth. You are God because you care about having all things, not just the planet Earth. Good, sound, mind, body, and soul, spirit, earth, out of here, everything. That's
Mind, body, soul, and spirit. Okay, mind, body, fine, exact. Soul and spirit, you need to break that down because you talk about the 5%. And so soul and spirit is not something that we talk about.
God. You understand? Mm-hmm. So we ain't gotta, I don't get into all of it. I know my lessons. Why sit here and quote a bunch of lessons for you?
You don't know your lessons,
right? Like you know what I mean? Like I just gave you one in the 1 to 40. Like
you did not, because that's not in the 140. So you don't know your lessons, and you're saying, why should brothers be, all about quoting lessons or blah blah blah? Like I said, it's a cultural practice. It's a cultural practice. And so that's why we do it to see how you see things, right? How you see things, because we are taught to examine everyone. Everyone. And so all because you say you're a 5%er does not mean you are a 5%er. You see what I'm saying? We need to examine. We need to examine.
We can go to Muhammad, but I mean, again, I keep saying that because people try to make it seem like the lessons were only the fathers, or only Clarence, or only you know what I mean?
No 5%er will call him Clarence, bro. Like, stop it. He is not your father. So stop calling him father. He's not your father, right? The people, he's the father of the 5% nation. We call him Allah. His name is Allah. So if you're going to call him father, make sure you call him by his name, which is Allah.
And the Nation of Islam is something totally different. And it's not true. The nation.
We are different. We are different. We're not totally different. Like, we're cousins. We're related, right? But we're not the same. We're not a religion. We're a culture. They are a religion. They made it fact since 1930 that they are a religion. Elijah Muhammad was their religious leader. Malcolm said it. Elijah said it. They are a religion. We are a culture. It's not the same.
The lessons come from the nation. The father was in the nation of Islam.
Yeah, the lessons come from the nation of Islam. That's right, exact. And we're not taking that history away. Yes, Allah, when he was Clarence 13X, he was in the nation of Islam. He got the knowledge of who he was. From there, he saw it for himself. And then he left and created his own nation. That is not the same thing.
Islam. He left the nation of Islam to go teach who? Not the drunken niggas on the corner that like to argue and beef all day and talk about jail talk. And want to have ego battles
He taught the babies.
about who know the lessons more or not. He went out to teach the children. Why?
Right.
Because in the Nation of Islam, you wasn't allowed unless you was a certain age. So the father knew that the youth had to have the lessons before they even got to that point. Stop
it. Stop it. Allah did not want us to go back to the Nation of Islam. If that was the case, why didn't he go back to the Nation of Islam? He did not go back to the nation. He could have went back after he got out of Mattawan. How come he did not go back to the Nation of Islam? Stop it. Stop it. You're mixing and diluting shit. That was not his teachings. He was not trying to send us back to the Nation of Islam.
From early, and he won't have to discipline him at that point. That's what the father did. You know what I'm saying? That was his mind frame. Teach the babies.
Yeah.
And the babies who grow up in the now, they won't have to have the need to be grabbed off the street and put on the mosque because they doing drugs and all this other crap. Good talk. You know, taking criminals out of jail. And stop them before they even go to jail. Stop them before they even do the drugs. Stop them as a baby. That's what Clarence taught, and that's why they killed him.
That's what Clarence taught. You know, look, it annoys me that people say they're 5%ers, but they keep calling this man, the founder of this nation, Clarence. That is highly disrespectful. If you're talking to a 5%, do not call him Clarence 13X. Do not call him Clarence. Since day one, when we met Allah, we as the 5%, he said his name was Allah. That's who he said his name is. So unless you're prepared to call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay, Elijah Muhammad, Elijah Poole, Malcolm X, or El Haj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm Little, unless you're prepared to completely get rid of everybody's name that they say who they were, Kwame Ture is Stokely Carmichael, right? Make sure you keep that same energy. You are disrespecting the founder of our nation, a man that took 7 bullets for us. He put his life on the line to teach the children. And you don't have the common courtesy to call him Allah because you are religious. And I'm talking about Buckshot. I'm talking about everybody else that calls him Clarence 13X. When he was Clarence 13X, none of y'all would have known him. You guys know his works by his name, Allah. You guys know him by his work as Allah. You didn't know him when he was a Muslim, Clarence 13X. You didn't know him by that because he didn't found his own nation when he was Clarence 13X. He founded his nation when he was Allah. So put some respect on our father's name.
That's why he was shot and killed, because, you know what I mean? You know, there's always haters out there. Always haters.
So where did this idea come from that you brought up a great point? I did hear this, that the 5%ers are totally separate from the Nation of Islam. So when did that start in regards to the ideology is separate, but you just explained, and obviously the man was in the nation and he was taught in the nation and brought it out in a different aspect. So where did that idea come from where it's two separate?
From a bunch of, when the father died, first of all, he was very unorthodox, but he was very incredible. And once the head is cut, the body falls. You know what I mean? So now it's just.
But the body didn't fall. Maybe for like a year. But when they assassinated Allah, you see the nation is still around. Clearly. I got the knowledge in 2014. And that was 50 years the nation been around. That's the 50th anniversary when the nation was around in 2014. That's when I got the knowledge. So clearly The body did not fall because I got the knowledge.
Now all types of stuff start happening. We get this name called Nation of Gods and Earth. We would never call the Nation of Gods. And then Clarence never, where'd that come from?
This dude's not qualified to talk about the 5%. He calling him Clarence.
Show me. Clarence never called us the Nation of Gods and Earth.
And we never called him Clarence.
Came later. You understand? Like the God, like all the true gods know. You know what I'm saying? All the true gods know. You know they understand the lessons.
Your child needs these three key factors to get into an Ivy League or top 25 university.
I mean, that's how it goes.
Well, I mean, it's with the power. The children. The lessons is all about the children. So when Clarence left the nation and started to build, and he made the lessons readable or legible or understandable for the young. When Clarence did that, it's all good. When Clarence did that,
bruh, every time he calls him Clarence, it irks the hell out of me. That's just me. That's just me.
People got to understand that was automatically going to be seen as something different because it wasn't the Nation of Islam. So what is this stuff? And Clarence said, I'm going to create something for the babies to understand.
Clarence
First student enrollment. That's why it's now.
Clarence did not say that. Allah is the one that went to the children.
Well, it's just the first step. Wisdom is the second. Culture is the third. Power is the fifth.
What? What? What did you say?
Stuff. And Clarence said, I'm going to create something for the babies to understand. First student enrollment. That's why it's knowledge is the first step. Wisdom is the second. Culture is the third.
Clearly, you didn't get taught right because that's not how it goes.
Power is the fifth. I mean, culture is the fourth. Power is the fifth. You know what I'm saying? 5 fingers, gives you power. You understand? Once you have your 5 fingers together, once you can form a fist, you have that power. The power is within the fist. You understand? And this is what the gods try to teach. So people made it fly because they needed something. It's like a crew. It's like rap groups. Different. Once the leaders ain't around, it's, I was the one who really made Wu-Tang. I was the one who really made the Black Moon. I could tell you what they was really about. Here goes. I mean, that's what you had when you had all these Nation of God nerds and 40 or 50-year-old dudes drunk and beefing, barking, arguing with each other, telling you the white man's a devil and all this other crap. But 90% of them got a white wife. You know what I'm saying?
What? What? Bro, went on a tangent. Like what? 90% of them got a white wife? Yeah, man. I mean, I never really knew Buckshot like for his music or anything like that. Like I heard of what happened to him recently and stuff. This is an old interview. And willfully he cleaned that up because clearly he don't know what the hell he's talking about.
It's like just tell the truth. Like, you feel me? Just
you're not telling the truth.
Be truthful with yourself. Don't quote those lessons saying that the white man's a devil because he was created by Yaakov, grafted. Don't quote those lessons, but then know in your heart that you feel like Karen, that's your wife, is not a devil. Feel me? Stick to your heart. Stick to your heart. Don't stick to something that you just quoting if you don't really feel it.
Okay, I mean, I guess I could agree in theory.
Especially and don't quote it like you feel it when you do quote it.
I mean, most of us don't have a white wife, and those that do, they're not amongst us. Like, they say they're 5%ers, but we don't see them.
If it ain't the truth to you.
Also, it is said that Allah said no pork, no dope, and no white women. Also, no white men. And so we don't deal with jungle fever.
You feel what I'm saying? Let it be a lot of others. You know what I'm saying? If it's not a truth to you, let it be a lot of others. Yeah, that's the most important thing to remember about the nation of gods of earth, man. They in the 5% nation and everything like that.
Oh, didn't he just say somebody made that up and it was never the same? So why is he calling it that?
That good orderly direction. You understand? All that, everything else is just it ain't, man. It ain't even it. It ain't even what it's about, man. Some of these.
He seems like he's the type that got bombed for not knowing his lessons, and then now then he's like, well, it's not even about the lessons. It's not about this. Yeah, you didn't have the discipline to study.
These brothers, I don't care if you know your lessons or you don't know your lessons. You understand? You are 5%er. Why? Because you are 5% of the nation's planet Earth, Puerto Rice.
Doesn't matter if you know your lessons or not. You are if you don't know your lessons, how do you know you're a 5%er? How can you then say, "Oh, I'm a 5%er"? Yeah, well, show and prove. How do you know you're a 5%er? What's your duty? What are you supposed to do as a 5%er? How do you know you're a 5%er if you don't know the degree in which it says who are the 5% on this poor part of planet Earth? How do you know you're a 5%er?
Teachers as teaching the babies, 5% of the planet Earth. You understand? So, yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna end it right there. Stop sharing. I'm gonna end it right there. And so that was interesting. It was very interesting that yeah, I would say 90% of the stuff he said I do not agree with. And as a person who's been a 5%er for 10 years, um, you know, um, I know day one not to say some of the stuff that he said. And so, yeah, that's all I have for this video is that I give that if I'm grading this from 1 to 10, or let's keep it running that. Let's grade it from 1 to 9. 9 being I would born this out and I'll be like, yeah, I put my stamp of approval on it. And 1 being like, I did the knowledge to it and I wouldn't um take what he said and manifest it, bring it to wisdom. I wouldn't repeat it, right? I would give it I would give it I would give it maybe a 0.5. If someone didn't say you should do a review on Buckshot, I would not have did review on this because that video does not represent us at all. It sucked. So yeah, make sure of course I'm Wise Prince of Law. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace to the babies, man. Peace to the babies, peace to the civilized, and peace to the uncivilized, because the uncivilized need it more. Peace.